For those who say the Trump administration gets nothing done, for those who say the Trump administration isn't bringing accountability, I got news for you. That the evidence is becoming more and more overwhelming that all kinds of stuff is happening, even if it might not be the names you're looking for. But look at this. The leader of Antifa cell members in North Texas were just sentenced to 100 years in prison. Not arrested, sentenced to 100 years in prison. That's a major win. For the terrorist attack on ICE facility, 7 additional defendants sentenced before 1-year anniversary of attack to a combined 450 years. This is the first sentencing of defendants affiliated with Antifa following POTUS's executive order designating the group as a domestic terror organization. Sentences handed down today make clear Antifa terrorists who attack law enforcement and federal facilities will face swift and uncompromising justice, said Todd Blanche. What a star he is. Their violent extremism has no place in our country. Department of Justice will continue to aggressively investigate, disrupt, and prosecute those who threaten law enforcement officers or undermine the rule of law. Guys, this is a major shot to all the protesters, to the deep state left, to the organizations trying to overturn our country. Because guess what? It was a lot easier for them to find people to riot, to protest, to attack back when they could pay them and say there's not going to be any consequences. But now the consequences are coming, and it's going to be a lot harder to convince somebody to go out and throw bricks when they could be facing 100 years in prison. Today's not a good day to be Antifa. Benjamin Song, 100 years. Marisuela Rueda, 70, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, and 30 years. That's a long time in prison. And yes, of course, okay, they time served. Listen, 100 years even shaved off 30%, 70 years. So these guys, their lives are over. Their future is gone. All because they took that George Soros $15 an hour and decided to become domestic terrorists. This is a big deal, and it's just the beginning. And what this will do is make it so there's far less rioters and protests. The payment, guys, is just going away. And we're seeing this all over the place because the SPLC writers, Michael Hayden and Hannah Gase, are seething their comrades in North Texas Antifa terror cell, proven in court to be part of violent organized group. This is just the beginning. More will be sentenced next week, reports Andy No. Then they'll face trial in the state domestic terrorism and attempted murder charges. And calling them all out. But these SPLC people who used to be part of funding all this stuff, like all the white supremacist riots, they're very mad. And Data Republican comes out and says, would be a real shame if someone had direct evidence of Hannah Gase working with local Antifa groups as an SPLC Center Intelligence Project analyst. Interesting. I can't wait till those receipts are dropped. Listen, this is spreading. This is ramping up. The investigations that started as soon as Trump got into office are now starting to pay off. And we have more and more evidence that Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, Trump, this whole team came in, and it's not that they were sitting around twiddling their thumbs. They were building cases. That, my friends, is now quite evident as we keep seeing more of this happen. The indictments of SPLC, going after Antifa, the fraud arrests I covered yesterday, it is ramping up. This is awesome. It is clearing the decks. And by the way, once you clear out the bottom, the people actually actively causing all the trouble, stealing the money, trafficking, abusing kids, once you clean all that up, you work your way up to the top and the people who are behind it. And that's when you start getting the bigger names. But this is a great sign that we're working on our way there. And you can tell all the right people are angry. Here's Rashida Tlaib, the total fraud, squad member, total deep stater, says these sentences are a travesty and totally unjustified, but that's the point. Americans hate the fascist Trump regime. So the only way they could try to clean the power is brute force. Does this sound like panic or what? NSPM 7 is a grave threat to all of us, and more BS terrorism charges like this are coming. Well, glad they're coming. Thank you for telling us that. We're appreciated. Why would this be a threat to you? You think they're signaling? She just told you what's going to happen. The only way they can try to cling to power is brute force. This is a grave threat to us. So basically you're saying we're scared. We're really scared. You're not going to allow us to do our way of power, our way of disruption. This is awesome. This is very, very good news. The Antifa people are already freaking out as well. Here's a screenshot. Black Red Guard, 30 years for moving a box? Not even at the demo? 100 effing years for firing a gun at the ground? Horrifying weaponization of the criminal legal system. Nobody died. Guns owned legally. Only one of the 9 defendants fired a weapon. 3 weren't involved in the planning and left when the guards told 1 did at 10. Got 30 years. You feel the panic? It's beautiful. I like to chew on it and sit around and drink their tears. It makes me so happy. But you better believe this is terrifying to them. Because what they're saying is, oh my God, just for showing up, they got 30 years, 100 years. Oh my God, I'm not doing that. Are you kidding me? This is striking terror into them because guess what, guys? Actions have consequences, and now they're finally faced with those consequences. Anybody who says that punishment is not a deterrent is an idiot. Punishment is definitely a deterrent. These people will not be showing up in the same numbers anymore. And if they do show up, they'll be acting a whole lot nicer because they can't go to the levels. There'll still be the idiots. They'll still be the retards who don't think ahead, think they're invincible. That'll always happen, but it's going to be much less. And this is the tell because they are freaking out on social media, which is absolutely beautiful. So it's happening, guys. A lot's happening. And our government is finally, we're starting to see the movements we want. And again, this is the beginning, and you move yourself up to the wins. You move yourself up to the big names that everybody will get excited about. Now, Pulte is cleaning house at ODNI, and it's getting interesting over there. And look at this. Tulsi Gabbard's chief of staff was just fired by Pulte. Now, there's a lot of speculation over this. Some people are wondering, was Tulsi allowing a bunch of leaks to happen? Was the whole Joe Kent thing, did that really kind of start leading to Tulsi being pushed out? Was her excuse to leave a lie? What I'll say is this. I am reserving judgment. I'm going to continue to believe Tulsi's a patriot for now until we know more. Because the other factor of this, it could just be they want a different chief of staff. It's very possible that person was there and they were like, we don't have a use for you anymore. Sorry. Very possible. I will say there is suspicion here. There is something it's something to keep an eye on because Pulte has already fired over 50 people at ODNI. And I believe it could get up to 400. So if more and more is going to come out, and if there's anything bad on Tulsi, we'll learn it. But in the meantime, I'm going to continue to say Tulsi did a lot of good there. And I'm just going to believe the evidence is presented. Laura Loomer does not like Tulsi Gabbard, so she's going to frame it in her way. But regardless, it is a fact that her chief of staff was one of the firings that already happened. And so, for now, something to pay attention to. Regardless, the good news is that Pulte is cleaning house. And if somebody with even this big of a role there is able to be pushed out, means that nobody's safe. And that's exactly what we want Pulte to do. So all this is going on with Antifa, Pulte in there, the deep state freaking out, the Senate freaking out. Trump posted this yesterday. And I got to tell you, I think it's an idea of what's coming. Trump posts scripture yesterday. Let justice roll on like a river, righteousness like a never failing stream. Interesting. For everybody who knows Trump knows he loves to message and give us heads up of what's coming and where we're at. For those who remember, going back to March, Trump tweeted out, once Iran's done, we're focused on domestic. We're focused on cleaning up home. and Iran ended. That's being negotiated, but for all intents and purposes, the conflict is over. And now what are we seeing? We're seeing the ramp up in justice already happening, because this is no small deal. What happened yesterday with the fraudsters, that's no small deal. These are big deals, and it's escalating quickly. So I don't want to hear anymore. There's no arrests. You can say they haven't arrested the famous people yet. Okay. But nobody can say that this Trump administration isn't bringing accountability and justice. That at this point is just an outright lie. And folks, we're just getting started.